Hey everybody, thanks for stopping in. My video today is about cameras, the cameras that I use to make my YouTube videos. I've made over 300 videos now, so I have a little bit of experience. I'm far from being an expert or anything, but the very first video I uploaded to YouTube was just with this regular little point and shoot camera. And I just wanted to see if I could figure out how to upload it and all that good stuff. Turned it on, talked, figured out how to upload it to YouTube, and that was my first video. Once I figured that out, I thought, well, you know, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't the best video you ever saw, but I managed to do it. So then I went and bought this little camcorder. This one's a Samsung HMX-F90. Pretty good little camcorder. Paid about $150 for this, and I've made a lot of videos with this as well. Now, the thing about this camcorder is it doesn't have a microphone jack. And one thing I learned after a while is if you're filming outside, you really need to have a camera that has a microphone jack. So I think if you're starting out and you're looking to buy a camera, it's a good idea to buy one with a microphone jack. Because if you buy one that doesn't have that and you decide you want to use a wireless mic like I'm using right here, you basically just have to go buy another camera. There's, you know, you can buy it and you don't have to use a wireless mic. You can just use the mic that's on the camera if you want, but you don't have the option to add a wireless mic if you want to. When you're shooting videos outdoors, background noises are a huge problem, and that's something I never even considered when I first started out. It's just something that as you do it more and more, you realize there's always some background noise that drowns you out, and wind can be a really big problem too. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up this camera and just show you guys how it looks and sounds with this camera compared to the one I'm using now. Okay, I switched cameras. Now this camera doesn't have a wireless mic hooked up to it. It's just the microphone that's built into the camera. Also, this camera here shoots in 720p. The other camera I was using, this one here, is Canon VIXIA HF R500. This one shoots in 1080p. So we'll see how much video quality difference there is, along with sound difference. I paid $200 for this little Canon camcorder here, and the way the wireless mic works is it plugs in, see if I can get in the right spot here, it plugs into the side of the camera like that, and then the receiver just clips onto the handle of the camcorder there. That's how you mount it, and then you can just unplug it and take it off if you don't want to use it. Then it has a battery microphone that just goes around your neck like that, so that's how that works. This camera was $200. The microphone, the wireless microphone, was $160. So about $400, you know, with tax for this setup. The other camera that I use is this one. It's a Canon SX50 HS, and this is kind of a point and shoot camera. It's just a step below a DSLR camera. The DSLR cameras, you can change the lenses and things. This one, it's just fixed, and has a great zoom on it, takes great snapshots, and it does good video, especially indoors, because it works well in low light settings, and I don't have any lighting kits or anything, so I use this for most of my indoor videos, especially the cooking indoors ones. I've been using this the most. Now the downside to this camera is it doesn't have a microphone input either, so the sound is not great on it. It's decent, but outdoors it's really bad. It picks up the background noise really bad. So what I've been doing is I use this camera indoors a lot, and for snapshots. I used to use it for the snapshots for my thumbnails. The thumbnail is the picture you see when you click on the video to watch it. I'll take custom pictures with this and then upload them. So what I've been doing, I use this camcorder outdoors mostly, and this camera indoors mostly, and then this one for snapshots on everything. Takes great snapshots. This camera also has a really good zoom lens. I mean, you can zoom way in on birds and stuff like that. It's really awesome. I think probably one of the bad things about this lens is sometimes it kind of has trouble focusing. Like, say I was standing in front of this camera and talking right now, sometimes it'll kind of be zooming in and out a little bit, like it's having trouble staying focused on me. When I do cooking videos, I notice that too. Like if I'm cooking on the stove and I'm stirring, it'll have trouble focusing. So that's one of the weak points of this camera. Each camera has its strong points and its weak points. So the more you use them and the more you play around with them, you kind of figure out, okay, this camera's better for one situation, that camera's better for, you know, a different situation. It's just the kind of thing you have to play around with and figure out. Now this camera shoots video in 1080p as well, so I can shoot video from this camera and that camera and splice it together if I want to, but there is some difference in the video quality and the sound quality, so I've done that a few times. Sometimes I'll use that camera for like my outdoor, I'll do like an outdoor intro, and then when I go inside and start cooking, I'll switch over to this camera, and it's not quite as noticeable that way, but it's just the thing. You play around, you experiment, and see what looks good and what doesn't. Now the wind is starting to come up a little bit, and if I didn't have this wireless mic right now, I think you'd hear wind noise in the video. And I'll show you, I can get, you know, pretty far away from the camera and you can still hear me really good. So it gives me a lot more leeway and a lot more things I can do on camera, because I don't always have to be like right here all the time. Now I know some people use the DSLR cameras with the big interchangeable lenses and all that stuff, and those are nice, but they're expensive for one thing, and also too, they're heavier. And I like to get outside, and I sometimes have to carry my stuff around, so I don't want something that's too big and heavy to pack around. Plus, then you need stronger, sturdier tripods and stuff to hold them as well. One more thing is, all the cameras I use, the screen rotates like that, so when you're standing in front of the camera, you can see where you are. So for this camera here, I have this little remote that plugs into the side of the camera, and I bought this off of Amazon for like $8. And see, I can actually take the picture like that while I'm standing in front of the camera without having to use a timer or anything. So it saves an awful lot of time when you want to be in the picture. I used to spend all this time setting the timer, and then I'd stand back and I wouldn't be centered because I couldn't see where I was at. If that screen doesn't rotate, it's really a pain. So that's something I like too, is cameras that the screen rotates around like that. So I hope this was helpful, and like I said, if you're going to be filming outside, I think one of the most important things is to make sure the camera has a microphone jack. That's something I never thought about in the beginning. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.